Good afternoon. My name is Matthew Kroenig. I'm Vice President and Senior Director of the Atlantic Council's Scowcroft Center for Strategy and Security. Thank you all very much for joining us for this year's Van Fleet Policy Forum. It's an honor to co-host this event for the first time with our friends at the Korea Society, and we're deeply grateful for the generous support of the Kim Koo Foundation. It's been fascinating to hear from such a distinguished group of American and Korean policymakers and thought leaders, including hearing virtually just there from Senator Pete Ricketts. The timing of this discussion is salient. The U.S.-Korea alliance is as important as ever, and reinforcing the alliance is central to navigating this period of heightened strategic competition. Echoing Senator Ricketts' words, Korean security is American security, and vice versa. The U.S.-ROK alliance occupies a pivotal position not just within Northeast Asia, but also in upholding a secure, free, open, and prosperous international system. Meetings like this are essential to the Scowcroft Center's mission of developing sustainable nonpartisan strategies to address the most important security challenges facing the United States and its allies, and we also work to honor the legacy of service of General Brent Scowcroft. But now it's my great privilege to introduce our final keynote speaker, United States Deputy Secretary of State Christopher Landau. We are honored that he has joined us today despite his very busy schedule. Deputy Secretary Landau was sworn in earlier this year. Prior to assuming this role, he served as United States Ambassador to Mexico from 2019 to 2021. Before and after his tenure in Mexico, he has engaged in the private practice of law in Washington, D.C. for more than 3 decades. He recently returned from his first official visit to the Republic of Korea in his capacity as Deputy Secretary of State, underscoring the United States' ongoing commitment to our alliance with the Republic of Korea. So without further ado, please join me in giving a warm and enthusiastic welcome to Deputy Secretary of State Christopher Landau.
Thank you, Matthew, for that kind introduction. I should say I'm a huge fan of Brent Scowcroft. I think he's one of the great thinkers and strategists of American foreign policy the last several decades, and so I pay tribute to that. I also just want to express my gratitude for this invitation to speak at the Van Fleet Policy Forum and to thank the Atlantic Council and the Korea Society for co-hosting this event. It's really a privilege for me to be here with you today. I think, as you all know, that the premise here is that the Republic of Korea is one of our closest allies. I had the opportunity when I was in Korea a couple of months ago to visit the War Memorial or the War Museum in Seoul, which really underscores those links of blood that you can never break those kinds of bonds. Our troops fought side by side, and that kind of alliance is absolutely ironclad, and I am happy to reiterate consistent U.S. policy that the U.S.-ROK alliance remains the linchpin of peace, security, and prosperity in all of Northeast Asia and the Indo-Pacific region, and that alliance is ironclad. President Trump has a great relationship with Korea's new president, and he's already Lee Jae-myung, and they've already met twice since President Lee took office just recently. Yesterday, our two countries released a historic joint fact sheet on President Trump's historic state visit to Korea at the end of October, inaugurating a new chapter in the U.S.-Korea alliance. I encourage all of you to read that fact sheet closely because it lays out our joint priorities for the relationship in the years to come, which include rebuilding and expanding critical industries, maintaining foreign exchange market stability, enhancing commercial ties, promoting reciprocal trade, protecting economic prosperity, modernizing the U.S.-ROK alliance, coordinating on Korean Peninsula and other regional issues, and furthering our maritime and nuclear partnership. As the fact sheet announces, during his visit to Korea last month, President Trump secured billions of dollars for the American economy in landmark deals. These efforts recognize Korea as one of the leading investors in the United States and will support American jobs, fuel America's energy exports, promote trusted technology, and strengthen our maritime partnership. Again, I think everybody's aware that President Trump is committed to reindustrializing our country after decades of being hollowed out, and we've lost a lot of important jobs to offshoring, and it's a time, one of the major incentives or initiatives of this administration is to revitalize American manufacturing by onshoring production and creating high-quality American jobs. And Korea is absolutely vital to this effort. We need Korea's investment in key sectors, including shipbuilding, energy, semiconductors, pharmaceuticals, critical minerals, and AI quantum. We also need Korea's help in getting those investments up and running, sending experts on temporary visas who can teach our great American workers how to run these precision manufacturing facilities. In fact, I had, both the honor and I guess the blessing and the curse of being the first high-level American official to visit Korea in early September after the regrettable incident in Georgia, and expressed our government's regret at that incident and pledged while in Korea that we would fix our visa system so that this kind of incident doesn't happen again. President Trump has been very, very clear that he welcomes Koreans to come to our country to train American workers in these high-precision jobs. Obviously, you cannot ask for countries to make significant investments in our economy and not expect them to send people over to implement those investments and make them a reality. So I am pleased to announce we've made very quick strides towards making sure that that incident is not repeated again by establishing a Korean investment and trade desk at Embassy Seoul, and working on fixing up our visa system here to create a category of visas that allow people to come here and train Americans for these exciting jobs in a way that is consistent with our immigration laws. I even had protesters against me when I was in Korea. Actually, I was impressed when I was in Korea with the free speech atmosphere in Korea. It seemed like everybody was protesting something there, which, was okay. I prefer it not be me, but, it's important if somebody is unhappy with something. You like to see that there's a free and open society with robust debate. So I actually welcome that. I thought that was a sign of democratic maturity, but it was interesting to experience, all the people with loudspeakers around Seoul. It seems like anybody who had a message to send was sending out that message, whatever it may be. So hopefully the protesters who were protesting me are mollified now by the actions that we are taking to rectify the regrettable situation. And again, look forward to welcoming back our great Korean friends. And again, I just want to emphasize, particularly shipbuilding is just an area that's critical to our national security. It's sad as an American that this is, that was a source of many jobs and great national pride. And I think Korea should have great pride that it has, developed a tremendous shipbuilding industry that is one of the crown jewels of the world economy. And now we are looking to Korea to help us get our shipbuilding industry back off the ground again. I think that's the great way that friendships and alliances work, where both sides help each other. A sustainable long-term alliance has to be a two-way street where both sides are getting benefits. And so I think the U.S. Alliance with South Korea is a great example of what we should be looking to, where the alliance offers advantages to Korea. It also offers advantages to the United States. And we are very happy that there's a $5 billion investment program led by Cerberus Capital Management and HD Hyundai to modernize American military and commercial shipyards. That's really exciting for us. Let me say, one of my main messages at the State Department is that we are making economic and commercial diplomacy really the pillar of American foreign policy. For too long, I think we have kind of put those kind of concerns in the back seat to political and military concerns, but ultimately I think the lesson of history is that unless you have a strong and vibrant economy, you cannot sustain political and military influence over the long term. I don't know why that seems so obvious, but somehow our policymakers seem to lose sight of that. And I think President Trump is very keen to leverage the United States' important role in the world economy to the benefit of our people. For many decades, The vast American consumer market has been open for other countries to exploit, which is fine if they can provide goods and services that the American people want. But the United States should get something out of that. It cannot be a one-way street that we don't have those kind of reciprocal benefits with other countries. And so, in this administration, we are very focused on resetting our trade policies in a way that allows us to show the American people that we're delivering results. So in short, we're evolving our traditional security alliance with the Republic of Korea into a more comprehensive partnership that is integrated economically and industrially and aligned with broader Indo-Pacific priorities. So as we enter this new chapter, though, I want to stress that the fundamentals of our alliance are stronger than ever. The U.S.-ROK alliance and our extended deterrence commitments are ironclad, as I've already observed. Alongside Korea's commitments to assume more of the burden for maintaining conventional deterrence against North Korea, the U.S. is committed to strengthening extended nuclear deterrence for the ROK. We aim to deter adversaries' aggressive or coercive actions before they escalate to conflict. We're in complete alignment on North Korea. Our policy remains the complete denuclearization of the DPRK. Both President Trump and President Lee support meaningful dialogue with the DPRK and have called upon North Korea to abide by its international obligations, including abandoning its weapons of mass destruction and ballistic missile programs. I just want to reaffirm, we'll also work with other partners across the Indo-Pacific to uphold the international law of the sea and peace and stability across the Taiwan Strait and elsewhere in the region. The safety and prosperity of the United States is closely intertwined with the safety and prosperity of the entire Indo-Pacific region. As I never get tired of saying the United States is itself a Pacific nation, and we take that part of the world very, very seriously. And we certainly won't tolerate any aggressive or coercive behavior that threatens our way of life in that theater or elsewhere. So this new chapter of U.S.-Korea relations is truly a historic one, and we're looking forward to exponentially increased exchanges between our two countries and accelerated innovation in manufacturing, technology, defense, and other fields. Our two countries are united with our democratic strength and resilience, and we'll go together as we embrace the next chapter of this great and storied alliance. Thank you very much.